So we transformed our Gorilla Platoon member Matt from looking like this to now having the physique that he dreamt of, looking chiseled, looking lean, looking sharp. Now, how Matt fell into the position of the starting photo, which is where most of you probably are, is because life ultimately gets in the way. Life will always get in the way. Life will always crop up, and there is always going to be a significant reason as to why you're not in shape. But for those of you that the buck stops there and you don't move past that, you will forever stay out of shape. It will always be a case of, when XYZ happens, then I can get in shape. When this project at work stops, then I can get in shape. When we've been on our next vacation, then I can get in shape. When my kids have grown up a little bit further, then I can get in shape. And there will always be an excuse. There's a million reasons why you can't get in shape right now, because getting in shape is more of a mental investment than it is a physical. Most of you are just not mentally ready, or should I say mentally willing, to just take that first step onto the plan. Because in your mind, realistically, you know what to do, you know you need to do it, but you are cowarding away from actually taking that first step. Most people online will tell you how to go from 25% to 10% body fat, and they'll tell you to go into a calorie deficit and train 3 days a week. That is not going to make you take the first step, and that's why I approach things from a different angle when we speak about things on this channel. If you're a returning viewer of the channel, you'll know the philosophies and the mindset that we speak here. If you're new, welcome. By the way, my name is Tom Sergey. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like the one we're talking about today. But it's important that first and foremost, we get your mindset right in order for you to step forward and to actually take action. Because most of you are just that first step away from taking action, realizing it works, realizing you could be that person, momentum takes over, and before you know it, bang, you have six-pack abs that you desired for. So how do you take that first step and that first initial action? We must first understand that you right now, the version of you right now with your mindsets and your beliefs, is not able to get you the six-pack, or it would have already, because there's this resistance to you actually starting. The same way, I'm in Mexico at the minute, but there are big craters of water in the ground called cenotes, and you can jump in off them. And I personally, despite being a British paratrooper and having parachuted out of planes many times, I'm actually scared of heights. I don't mind admitting that to the internet. So in these cenotes, the one we did at the weekend was 6 meters high, which is pretty high, right? Especially if you're scared of heights. So as I'm stood at the edge, there is this resistance, this pull to be like, don't jump, don't jump, don't jump. That's not who you are. You're scared of heights. And that's your own brain trying to tell you and keep you in your comfort zone. This is what a lot of you are hearing, but most importantly, you are listening to. And you're not taking that first step because you're listening to that version of your brain. When that happened to me, do you know what I did? I cut my balls, I put my hands across my chest, and I just stepped off and accepted my fate. Because I knew I didn't need to listen to my brain, and I knew getting over it would give me a significant high, knowing I pushed out of my comfort zone. That's the type of high and dopamine you want to be chasing. So we went off. Our new personal best is now jumping off a 6.1 meter board into water. Great. What we want to do is to do the equivalent for you actually going into the new version of you. So what I always make members do when they join the Gorilla Platoon is they will watch a lecture and produce a document of how to create the 2.0 version of you. This is the athlete version of you, because I know for a fact you have at some point in your life sat down, listened to someone's situation and given them advice, because you know fine well what other people should do to get to a certain result, because you're not emotionally invested. You can just simply do it from logic. So now what you're going to do is create a different version of you that you are going to set advice for. You're going to set boundaries. You're going to set character traits of how they would be, and you're going to set the routine. Because you know what the best version of you should do. But you right now trying to do that, there's this resistance and pull. So we must create who you can become. A lot of you are not in shape because you try and leave your current character, but you've got no one to progress on to. So you leave. Oh shit, I'm in no man's land. I'm quite scared now. I've got no identity. I don't fit in with this friendship group that likes to go out and drinking, but I'm not quite in good shape to go with this friendship group. I'm lonely. Boom. Back to where you started. Back to what is comfortable and what you know. More what gives you clarity, and gives you clarity being this version of you. So we must create the 2.0 version of you through that document. So we must first understand, what do you want to look like? Get a picture of someone that you want to look like. Like, obviously he's going to want to be lean, he's going to want to have a decent bit of muscle, and he's going to want to be quite fit. The goal for us inside the Gorilla Platoon is creating athletes not bodybuilders. Bodybuilders are big, bulky and heavy, while the goal is always more muscle and the goal is to build your body, is to make you fit and strong like an athlete, so you'll still be cardio fit as well. So you're going to create what this guy looks like. Your next and one of the biggest things you need to do is create what are his character traits. For example, the character traits of someone that is the 1.0 version of them would be laziness, it would be procrastination, it would be gluttony, it would be lack of integrity to self. These are the traits of someone that is out of shape, doesn't do what they should do, and ultimately lives a sad life. So what would the traits be of the new version of you? And it's quite easy if you are using, say, a character out of a film or someone you know personally, and you actually know how they live, think, and act, because you can then just extract their character traits, write them down, and be like, every day, am I living in accordance with discipline? When I don't want to do the thing, am I still being disciplined? Do I have integrity with myself? When I say I do something, do I get it done? These are the traits you need to write down of that new version of you. I can give you 5 straight off the bat. You need to be disciplined, you need to have consistency, you need to be resilient, you need to have integrity, and you need to love thyself. You need to have self-respect in the game. Why? Because it's your body. Your body is a reflection of the amount of self-respect you have given yourself. If you've been happy to abuse it with certain calories, alcohol, and whatever garbage you put inside it, it will reflect that on the physique. But if you've looked after yourself, you've eaten nutrient-dense food, you sleep very well, you do cardio, you lift weights, you clearly respect yourself. The same way, if you've got a fancy-ass car, you will look after it in a certain way because it's your standard to drive around in that nice car. So you're going to make sure it gets washed every so often when necessary. You're not going to leave it without getting serviced for a few years. You're going to make sure that the tires aren't bald. You're going to do whatever it takes to make that car look and feel pristine, because that is the level of your status. Flip from the car, use the physique, because the physique, the car you're going to park into the garage and a bird's going to fucking shit on it. Your physique, you're going to walk around in that all day, every day for the rest of your life. So we must understand then, you will have your traits. You need to also create what the routine looks like. What does a typical day in the life look like of the new version of you? You're still going to go to work. You're still going to have family commitments. You're still going to have everything else that went on inside your life. But now you're going to be in control of what you do. You're going to live a life of intent. So you're going to write out a schedule. At 6 a.m. I will wake up. At 6:05 I will weigh in. At 6:15 I will go out for steps having hydrated. After that we'll come back and have meal 1. Then I will go to work. Then I'll have meal 2. Then I'll train. Then I'll come back to work. Then I'll come back and prep meals. Then I'll do cardio. Then I'll do steps. Then I'll be with family. Then I'll go to bed. Repeat, repeat, repeat. And that's how you're going to live in accordance with that new version of you. We can give you the tactics in order to get in shape. Ultimately what matters is you live in accordance with this new version of you. If you skip the first part of this video and try go to the second and go to 10%, it won't work for you because it didn't work in the past. So just apply this first. People aren't telling you this online because A, they probably don't really know about it, and B, they probably don't also want you to know what actually works. I've always been a British paratrooper. We're brought with integrity. So I'll just tell you exactly how it is and exactly how we get the results that we do. Now, when it comes to the tactics, specifically the tactics of getting you in shape, the physique is built in the gym. So for the result you saw on the screen, we watched this, he sent me in clips of him training every week, and we perfected and refined exactly what he was doing. We made sure he was lifting with solid range of motion, comes all the way down, comes down slowly, doesn't lift weights like a sewing machine, drives back up. We think about the arm path, that we want to drive the bicep across the body to train the chest, not just press the load from our hands. Same for the back. You want to train the back, drag the elbow to the hip. Don't think about pulling the weight from your hands because you'll just blast the bicep. When it comes to that, you're making sure you're training hard and with full intensity. And most importantly, you're tracking what you do in the gym so you know what to beat next time. As soon as you've tracked it, you've got a number on it, you are accountable to what you've done. Therefore, you know you need to beat it. Otherwise, you're going to look at yourself and be like, didn't beat it, I'm a pussy bitch. And that's what it's going to come down to. When it comes to the gym sessions, they'll depend on your training age, let's call it. How often you can train. And yeah, so how your training age and also like your commitment to the gym. If you can only do 4 days, piece together a training split where you can train 4 days. If you can only do 3, piece together a training split where you can only do 3. It's either going to be full body, upper, lower, upper, or it's going to be full body push, full body pull times 2. If it's a 5-day split, you're going to do something like a push-pull legs, rest day, chest and back, delts and arms. The purpose of the matter of your programming, don't overcomplicate this, just make sure, am I hitting each muscle twice a week? If so, perfect. Now, when it comes to feeding, what I want you to do is create a meal plan where you start just below maintenance. not in a massive deficit to begin with. The reason being, we want your body to get used to eating and burning a good amount of food. So when we do make changes to it, we respond. The body drops body fat when we drop a little bit of food. If you do this and go too low too early, you'll have nowhere to go and play with it, and your body will just not be so responsive to dieting. You'll not be able to get down lean enough without needing a diet break, or ultimately it taking forever to get you to the goal. Try to fill your diet up with whole foods. We're using fruit as high GI carbs. We're using oats and sweet potato or pasta as your slower releasing. We're eating plenty of protein coming from either chicken, tuna, turkey, whitefish, or if we are having beef or salmon or egg yolks, that's fine. We're just going to utilize some of the fat content that we prescribed in our diet to facilitate for both. Fat is going to come from either avocado, nuts, dark chocolate, and of course you're going to add like leafy greens, spinach in there as well to pack out the meal plan. Another side things which you probably are ignoring is you're probably quite dehydrated as a human being. So I want you on at least 5 liters of water per day. You're probably quite sleep deprived as a human being. So I want you to have at least 5 sleep cycles. That is your prescription. That would be 7.5 hours of straight sleep. So if it takes you a bit of time to drop off, get in bed early. Make sure you've got enough of a window to drop off and sleep well. Because I tell you now, you will stay much leaner when you sleep better. You will grow much quicker when you sleep better. And also your testosterone is built when you're sleeping. So don't cut off your windows of your chance to grow your manhood. It literally is mission critical and people ignore it so hard. Walking, you're going to do 10,000 steps every day and get direct sunlight. And then you will also do cardio. We said you wanted to become an athlete. So therefore, cardio is going to be the backbone. We always start guys on 20 minutes of cardio daily on top of, not instead of, the 10K steps. But it's going to be something that's non-impact that you can do daily. Incline treadmill walk or the cross trainer. As you get fitter and fitter and fitter, because we want to keep your heart rate 120 to 130, you're going to add in either a cross trainer or a Stairmaster when we need to keep that heart rate higher, because you're going to get leaner. Therefore, there's less of you to carry. Your heart's going to get fitter. Therefore, you need another means of progressing the cardio that it is that we're doing. You're going to track and record everything to make sure that you know all the data. You ate the food you were prescribed to. You did all the minutes of cardio. You've done all the steps. You've done the sleep. You've tracked your workouts in the gym, and that you're always progressing on that. Make changes on a weekly basis where if you're not seeing a change on the scale, add another 10 minutes of cardio or regress food. Depends on the size of you and your overall meal plan setup, but as a rule of thumb, it's going to be anywhere from 150 to 200 calories roughly. And then just keep making those changes till you get down towards the goal. When you get down towards the goal, first thing I will tell you, because you'll be going through this and be like, bloody hell, this is hard, this. Do I have to live like this forever? You don't. How you get something and how you maintain it is about a 3-to-1 ratio. It's 3 times harder to get something than it is to maintain it. When you get there, you can live off a 3-day full body split, 10K steps, and an hour of cardio per week, not per day, and just eating clean whole foods. Generally speaking, it's so much easier to maintain it, but getting there is your first initial problem. So you will then, obviously, when you get it, align your life to being an athlete anyway. So it's A, easier to maintain it, but B, you're now a new version of you anyway. You're the version of you that fitness has always been a part of your life, and you're proud to always do fitness because A, it makes you feel good. B, you understand the importance of quality nutrients going into the body, and C, you understand that sleep is there needed for repair and recovery. So you will always, this will just be part of who you are. Like, I will always train, I will always look like this and better. It's just who I am. I know obviously it's who I am because it's what I do for like my main passion, and literally like, it's all I ever talk about. So of course it's who I am, but like it is for you as well. There's not this barrier to entry where like you're not allowed to be into fitness because you're not in a certain shape. I feel like there's a fallacy that a lot of people have, and especially if you're fairly new thinking about stepping into the gym, a lot of you will think, I don't really have the right. If anything, the more out of shape you are, the more right you have to live and practice this lifestyle, because you need it more and you need it the most. It should be a basic universal thing that every human being, we used to do this in the military, so in the military is a base minimum that you'll do 3 fitness sessions a week. Every human being should be prescribed to do that. Every human being should be prescribed to sleep 8 hours every night. I know in reality it's not going to be the case, but this is what if you want to be just a basic human being, this is what you need to do. So that's essentially how we got him from the start point, which you saw in the thumbnail, to the goal point with having the 6-pack. If you want me to help do this for you, there'll be a link in the description. Come join us at the Gorilla Platoon, and we'll see you on the inside. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.